Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate it.
Wow. The headphones are a new addition. Hey, so how's it going this week, everyone? Hopefully I had a really good week. This week was kind of a little exhausting for me. So, after the live cast today, gonna try to take some serious self-care time. But I kind of before we started, I wanted to kind of talk about I had dropped something in the group chat this week and a few people, I think Devin had got on there, Bree, and then I think Faith, of course, got on there and kind of was like talking about it. And so there was a segment on TLC about a woman who was married to two men. I'm calling it a throuple at this point, but married to two men. And so I kind of dropped that in the group chat. I'm sure you saw it about like how people felt about it. And
Really quick, guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
What?
Can you drop something if you can hear us? Can you drop something before you? Just want to make sure they can hear us. Can you hear us? Can y'all hear us okay? Drop a fire emoji or something.
You think the audio's out?
No, I just want to make sure. Yeah, so I was making sure. Hey, what's up, T? Hello, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Okay. So yeah, Stone, if you could
Thanks, T.
If you could drop the video again, man.
One more time. You guys have the video. Look, there we go.
Yeah, if you could drop the video one more time. So, kind of explain what's going on, Crystal, because you kind of put this in a group. I don't really know what's really happening, being honest. What's going on with this?
Wait, so is this the TLC clip?
Yeah, this is what we posted in the group last week.
All right, so drop the clip. Let's watch it. I thought it was pretty hilarious.
I think, Stone, you got it. Let me see if I can pull it up on my end.
But anyway, so what happened was, like I said, the lady was in a relationship. I'm calling it a throuple. And so she has two husbands. The first husband, I want to say they had been married for about, I want to say like 20 years. She ends up going to a party, a costume party without her husband and meets, oh, here it is. Let's just have her kind of explain the dynamics.
But did you see the legs under there?
I have other tasks. In the 12th year of our marriage, Carl and I decided that I was going to have multiple partners because I had met and fallen for another guy. So I came back and reported that to Carl.
So we decided to talk about it. Like, what do we do? How do we go about this? And that being a 2-year journey of Kenya and I just kind of discussing things. We just had to figure things out. So we discussed it for a number of years. I finally came into the knowledge and understanding about feminine, expression, and realized you have to allow women to be free and express themselves. And as a man, I need to support her in doing that.
All right, give it up for Carl, So I feel like, again, I'm always on that side of the fence of, I feel like it just kind of takes a, mentally mature, and I guess mentally mature is not really what I'm looking for, but I feel like a mature type of individual to be able to deal with something like this, right? Personally, for me, it's a no-go. I'm never going to do it. However, I feel like I don't really think Carl is feeling this little throuple thing.
This is so awkward to talk about, isn't it? I don't know. I mean,
it works for who it works
for.
No,
and I'm not saying that, right? Do whatever. Again, guys, I'm always a firm believer. I'll say it on every freaking podcast every Sunday. Do whatever works for you, right? If you want to do it, do it. I just feel like there's consequences. Where was it doing that? Mm-hmm. All right, so I think we're good now. I think it's just really weird, personally. I think that anytime you have a situation, and I'm sure you guys can hear us, right? Now you can probably hear us. At least that's what I see on my end. So I think it's just really weird when you have a situation where you got two men, two dominant male figures in one household.
Well, I don't think they're both dominant men. I think Carl is a very passive type of man, in my opinion, like a very sure man.
Passive.
But I think he might be a little passive. I feel like, so I think it works for them. I think the biggest thing for me was, right, just kind of watching it, was when the other brother said that he kind of chills at home all day. And it looks like Carl and the wife are kind of the money makers. I'm like, I feel like at that point, you guys are just
that's the other
bringing
guy.
in extra baggage.
I don't know. I mean, I think if it works for them, it works for them. I'm just saying, I think it's a very dangerous situation. Two women are a little bit different because of the testosterone in the household.
I think they're okay though. I don't think Carl is throwing off too much testosterone.
Say what you want to say.
It's like for him.
Say what you want to say.
No, I'm just saying.
When we talked about it, you said you feel like it was all triple dipping.
I feel like that it's very well a possibility, right? Like I feel like it's a very fluid type of dynamic going on in the house.
Do you think it's fluid? Is a question.
Yeah, I just said I think it's a very fluid situation going on in that house. Because I can't be too sure of anything.
I'm just asking what you think.
So again, I think it could be a very fluid dynamic going on. And the fact that they asked the kids about it, what do you think about that?
I think that's kind of weird. I think, and then definitely for like the older kids, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it's just a really real situation. What do y'all think? How do y'all feel about that? What do y'all think?
And we don't even have to spend too much time on it because I really want to get into our topics for today. But I just thought I would bring that back up. I wish Devin was on here. Devin, are you on here? Because he had a lot to say about it in the group chat.
Devin. Oh, okay, yeah, Devin.
Yeah,
he
definitely had quite a few things to say.
I just think it's weird. I think it's really weird.
To each his own, right? To each his own.
Like you're always trying to straddle the fence. Like,
to each his own.
It's weird.
All right, so this week we have some pretty interesting topics. I'm sure you guys saw Lawrence's title for this segment, right?
However, before we start, we kind of want to get into we want to do something different this week, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Do something a little different. Get a little crazy. I guess not really too crazy.
Not crazy.
So kind of give you a backstory of what's going on right now. We want to do something a little bit different. Hopefully you guys are okay with it. I think you guys will like it. We got some good feedback so far from it. Our producer, Stone, who's on the other side of one of these cameras somewhere, we created a game show or some questions for a game show. Never Have I Ever.
And most of you have probably played it.
So me and Crystal are going to play this game show.
And he's pushing it. I was definitely like, I don't really know, but I think the concept is pretty cool. Y'all let us know. We definitely want y'all feedback and y'all support in it, engagement in it. Stone has a few questions, but if you guys could drop some questions in the comment box, we're going to answer. And then we have this really cool concept. I don't know if you guys have seen these whip shots at the store because we're not really big drinkers, but we saw these and they're actually like caramel flavor, which we thought was really cool. That's really awkward. So we definitely are going to use these. So whoever puts a finger down has to take a whip shot.
Oh boy, okay, yeah, that's how I feel. I don't know.
Wait, are these intense?
Yeah, we've never had them, guys. But when we're looking at the alcohol,
10%. That's
10%.
A lot.
That's a lot. That's more than beer and wine.
What kind of wine do you drink? Because Stella has more than that.
Like 14% in wine, I think, or something around that. So
how much is it? And what's the measurements on this thing? It doesn't tell you.
Yeah. So and we have no clue on these questions too, by the way, guys. So just wish us luck.
Yeah.
Sort of anything.
So it says slap it, shake it, whip it.
Wait, what?
Slap it.
Oh, I thought you were about to hit me with that.
And then whip it. Okay. So I think we should do 6 fingers.
6 fingers. Okay.
6 fingers.
6 fingers.
All right, Stony Stone.
This is really like my first time playing this game. So if I So if I have not done something, or if I have done something.
If you've done it, you put a finger down.
Okay.
If you haven't done it, you leave it up. And so the object of the game is whoever has the most fingers at the end is
the person who
is the
loses.
person who wins. No, it's the person who wins.
Whoever has more. So never have a, okay. So okay.
Because you don't want to have been the person out here in these streets.
Okay. So if I lose, I mean I gotta take the whip shot. Oh Lord. Okay. Here we go.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Stone. Go ahead,
Yeah,
start the whip.
clear
Never have I
questions.
ever. TLC edition. Kind of worried about this one. Won't lie. Take it away, Stone. All right. Never have I ever had a crush on a teacher. I ain't gonna lie.
What?
I ain't gonna lie.
think everybody has had a crush on a teacher.
Yeah.
Put your finger down. So do we take a shot?
No. We don't take that many shots. I'm not trying to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So next question. Uh-oh.
Flirting
Never have I
with
ever
someone
flirted with
in
someone
front
in
of my
front-
partner.
Whoa there. Put your finger down. Put your finger down. I won't lie. I've done
I
it.
feel like everyone is kind of
Harmless
flirting,
flirt.
like gentle flirting, right? Like we haven't like talked to anyone, but I think that would be a lie. We got to keep it real on this podcast.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we keeping it real. Like we've definitely probably flirted, but within healthy boundaries. Because honestly, Lawrence was low key flirting at church today.
With who?
I'm not gonna say it in case they see this.
I was flirting at church today? You thought so?
Yeah.
About praising the Lord? Okay, she's tripping.
Okay.
When I'm in T, don't listen to her. Hallelujah. Listen, what are you talking about at church?
Lawrence, like he definitely was. And so let me just give you guys this backstory, right? So we've been hitting the gym like super hard. Obviously, I'm trying to lose weight. He's trying to gain weight. So I feel like his results are a little bit more apparent. So everybody's coming up to him, like pecking on him. And the person was like, oh, you've been in the gym lately. Do you recall that conversation?
Wait a minute. You talk, I will say it. That's kind of
no,
weird.
don't
No.
say it.
Okay.
Because
Not
what
at
if they
church.
want you? No,
Okay.
don't say it. But he did.
Exactly. He did. That's really weird, right?
What?
You said he did?
No, you were flirting. Lawrence,
Oh.
we'll talk about it after. You were flirting. It's not a big deal. Now I would have threw a Bible.
I got carpal tunnel. Let's
Look,
hurry up.
I just hit him with one of those. Y'all
So
kind of
what
was
I'm
like,
going to do is, because she saw I was flirting, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot.
There you go. You don't have to take that much. Oh, what does it taste like? Let me take a shot too. I just want to.
That's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad. It tastes like regular whipped cream with a little hint of something. It's not bad. Okay, Crystal can't lie. You're working on the sponsorship. So.
Okay, so I'm going to smile.
Smile.
Okay, great.
All right, next question.
Next question. Try to use music.
Set the mood. Okay, because I would definitely throw on some Tasha Cobb.
You have it on your nose.
Some Tasha Cobb.
I mean,
Throw on some
everyone has
Hezekiah
tried
Walker.
to set the mood with music.
Okay, I appreciate you, Stone. You keeping it up here, man. Thank you. I was a little worried about these questions. All right, next question.
And my friends that are on here, mind your business.
Mind your business. Wait, Stone, he's not.
They know the facts.
Not Tasha Cobb.
Turn someone down in the last 90 days.
I gotta put the finger down.
Who did you turn down?
You don't know everything about me. You don't know everything.
Who did you have to turn down?
Put the finger back.
No, let's talk about it. Who did you have to turn down?
No, nobody. I turned down my music to worship
You're
the
a
Lord.
joke. You're a joke. I haven't had to turn anybody down in 90 days.
In 90 days. I don't think so. Worship. Exactly. Create an atmosphere of worship.
Have you ever drank lemonade?
Lemonade. Latifah, last week, Michael Jackson.
Yeah. What is lemonade code for? I feel like
there's something else in this lemonade.
Gone right. Commando.
I have.
Yeah. So, you remember that? Okay.
Go ahead. No, you might as well not.
What was I going to tell them?
About the other.
No.
Well, we talked about going commando.
Nothing. Oh my goodness. We have to rehearse clearly before we get on here. If we've done it, you have to take a shot. is what Stone is saying. So you're at like 4 shots.
No, I'm not
dude.
taking 4 shots. It's Sunday. It is Palm Sunday.
I know.
I'm not taking 4 shots.
He said
All right,
no.
I take another. I give you one. A light one. A light one.
No, take it
A light one, babe. Come on. Don't be that way.
Came in this world alone. All right, what's the next one?
Going commando. Lord went commando.
The Lord went
They had
commando.
no draws there.
Who is that?
If y'all tuning in from the Facebook page, sometimes it says Facebook
It just
user.
says Facebook user. That is funny.
Never ever been in a fist fight. I think we all been in a fist fight. Crystal, we know the infamous story when you went over that girl head like Superman.
What story? I am not a fighter. What story are you
The story about high school. That one
fight?
that
Oh my
it
gosh.
say ever been in a fist fight. Did you use your fist to fight? Yeah, you did.
I am a not.
All right, so last question before we get into the questions, the topics for today.
One
Hopefully
last
nothing
one.
crazy. Stone, keep it simple.
Keep it PG.
Keep it simple.
These have all been simple
Have
though.
ever snuck out the house? Wait, like when?
I've never snuck out the house.
I have.
To be honest with you, I have never snuck out.
Talking about with me, or you talking about with my mom? Like with your parents?
What?
I have.
First off, sneaking out the house
not
as an
really,
adult, it
not-
wouldn't be sneaking out the house with you.
Yeah, but I mean, you
I
didn't
think
know I
he's
was
talking-
gone. You didn't know that. So this is the first time you
Wait, what?
No, you a hard sleeper, babe.
You snuck out the house while I was home one day?
So I mean, no, I didn't.
Yeah, Stone commercial break. No, I
No.
never snuck out the house though, even
I
with
have.
my parents. Really?
Yeah.
Why'd you have to sneak out the house?
No, but I mean, it wasn't really sneaking. You just didn't know I was gone, so it wasn't like really sneaking. But I just went up to the store or something. I'm sure I did. I'm just being honest, because you.
Crystal, have you ever flirted to get a free meal?
Thank
No.
you, Latifah.
But
Yeah, I know what you're about to say.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like recently,
So
I
you
get
know,
a lot of free stuff. Like people just randomly
Pretty
comment me.
privilege. It's really a
Like,
thing.
yeah, a lot of people will just give me free stuff recently. I don't know why. I tell them about it all the time. I'm like, hey, go ahead. And most of the times though, it's usually women that give me the free stuff and like the compliments. Again, we're here for the
Pretty
sisters.
privilege. Pretty privilege.
I don't know about all that. I think
Bro,
most people
stupid.
just
Have me sleeping.
hard sleeping will do that.
Bro,
I
I'm
do
telling
sleep
you.
hard, and so he probably actually has left.
No, I'm for sure have left a couple times.
To go where? They want the tea.
No.
Where did you go?
I probably went to Bible study. Now thinking about it.
I don't go to sleep before 9.
Hey, listen, the Lord never sleeps, baby.
Stop playing on my God like that. Because
Lord
we're going to
never
find
sleep.
out where you went.
Find
Find out.
I'm really good. I'm really good.
All right, that was fun.
Yeah, I'll drop the YouTube link. Jovan, if you can text my number 480-509-8958, we'll drop the YouTube link.
Hey, Deja, I saw you come in. Hey, Amber, if you're still on here. Mona, Melody, Jovan, Mimi, Sasha, Mama T, everybody that is usually here.
Appreciate
Thank
you
y'all
guys
for
for
tuning
being
in
loyal.
again.
Dwight is here. I saw Dwight, my bro. Fred is here. Appreciate it.
Oh, that was your brother. Okay.
Yeah, Fred.
Because he is cracking up at you. Clearly, it's family.
Yeah. Amber.
Yeah, hey y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. To everyone that's new, like I said, we just wanted to kind of incorporate a little game, kind of bring out a little bit more of our personalities moving forward. If y'all could think of any other like couples games that y'all have seen like on YouTube or TikTok or any of that, please send them over to us. We definitely want to kind of, bring a little bit more entertainment to the table on these sets. But I think we can go ahead. It looks like we got quite a few people on here. Let's get to the questions. All right, Stone, can you bring up the first question?
All right, so with this particular question, guys, we got a couple clips we want to show you guys, kind of get your idea, your take, your opinion, your perspective on these things. And the question, let Crystal read the question. What is the question?
What are your thoughts on the passport bros, and do you feel like it's socially acceptable?
Socially right. Yeah, I put right. She's more the person who usually does this.
I tried to fix it without you saying anything, baby, but since you want to put it out there.
Wow.
Yeah, so So explain the concept of passport bros, because I mean,
Passport bros in a nutshell, and maybe you guys, the fellas, can kind of help me out with this. Drop the comments in below. Passport bros in a nutshell is like men going to other countries away from Western civilization to go find these more submissive women, right? So women who typically are more like the stay-at-home wife type of thing. More.
So they're going to look for submissive women.
Ideally, I think that's the biggest thing. I think women in America are too.
What's the definition, Stone? Is that it? I thought it was like a concept of like, I don't know. I thought people were doing it to like get visas and.
No. So they going over there to find a girl.
Because they think she's going to be more submissive.
They know she's going to be more submissive. Just because of her upbringing. Her like societal norms in those countries are a lot different than what we have over here.
What countries are they usually going? You mean any country?
Yeah. I think America is one of the main countries that has these social constructs about, you know.
Jovan said they are bouncing once they get acclimated stateside, baby. And I agree with that.
Traditional. There we go. More traditional women. Thank you.
Traditional.
So, yeah, so more traditional. In the Middle East.
Yeah, thank you for that word.
Asia, Middle East, even Europe. I know some people went to Ukraine before the war.
More.
I'm being honest.
Please.
But so that's kind of the idea of it.
Okay.
Before we get your thoughts on, we're going to play a couple clips. Stone, if you could take it away.
Wait, Stone, before you do that, can I just tell you guys, right? So Stone is behind scenes, and I'm a really goofy person. And so a lot of times he's like writing us, and you guys can't see it. So when we were talking about the whip shots, he's livid that we have not taken those.
He's like, y'all should be doing.
He's like, we're never doing this again.
Y'all cheating. I'm like, man, you ain't trying to. Like,
but he is, man. I'm gonna sit these right here so you guys can at least see them. Okay,
so sure. Yeah, we are working on some stuff right now with these guys. So we at least
just set them there.
Put them in a frame.
These were great. We recommend you all go and get them for your
it's
hot chocolate,
really good. Hot chocolate,
or strawberries, or any type of fruit
that
you may be eating. I was giving like the whole sales picture. You was just cutting that. Okay, never mind.
I'm sorry.
I don't have to listen to her.
So play that again, Stone.
Passport bros. You guys want to hear a success story? Look what I pulled from the old country. Right? It's great. She doesn't even speak English, so I don't have to listen to her.
Okay, that's it.
Martin, you're laughing at that?
That's it. Play another one, Stone.
Ever honor you, months, as the head of our home. In heaven, they hear. On earth, I declare and decree, I shall be a submissive wife unto you.
Wow. You got another one? Let's see if we got another one.
He said, wow.
I just never seen a woman that humble, though. That type of humility. Jason Marshall saying, shot. I've just never seen a woman with that type of humility before, you know, to actually do that at the wedding.
I agree with all of you. Shout out to Miracles Happen Productions in the house. We see you with the logo coming from the business page, Delmar. You guys, make sure you go follow that page once you log off. But
what you mean you agree with everything that's going on? He janky.
I'm saying with everyone saying, first off, she's probably dipping once they come here, because the fact that he's like, oh, and she doesn't even speak English, like,
oh, that's the one they talk
he's
about.
A jerk.
Rishi said, I'm packing my bag now. See y'all on the other side, brother. Because I'm being honest though, from a single man's perspective, there's no real traditional women anymore. And I think there's a lot of women who have traditional values in other countries.
Who's logging in to speak with Lawrence about this? Because we really don't want my opinion on this. Yeah, we don't want my opinion on it. To be
First girl is definitely different. Now, what about the one who's actually kneeling at the?
Oh, okay. Was that a passport lady? Or was that just a woman that?
A submissive woman.
So she's not a passport lady though. So that's completely different.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Is she a passport lady?
I mean, I don't know if she's a pass. It's not like passport.
Oh, they said I just filled out my passport application after watching this. Where is she from?
You hear an accent. You know, from Africa.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't? Oh, you probably because you got your headphone off your ear.
Oh, my bad.
But yeah, so somewhere from Africa.
Okay.
So somewhere from she had like
I
African
mean,
descent, African accent.
I feel like I have a little bit of like mixed emotions about this because are these women really, coming to be submissive to these men? Or is it that, hey, I want a different type of life. I want to maybe come to the US that has all of these other opportunities and different things for myself to create like a better life for myself. So I'm just going to go with this man. I would love to see the women's perspective on it because I don't know.
I do, but if you look at the way their culture is ran or their society,
I can agree with that.
It is more on the traditional side where the woman is more like the man is the man in the house, so whatever the man says kind of goes. You know
I can agree with that.
So I think that even though they might want a better lifestyle, I'm not saying they're not going to be dipping out when they're like over here. I think their values align to what actual men want nowadays.
So can I just say, as someone that has been exposed to like several different cultures, and I mean like in an intimate setting, right? When I'm going into the homes and working with a lot of my kids, I feel like you see a lot of like changes when they actually come here. So are those women forced to do it because of like, the government and like laws and different things like that? Because I see a lot of the women and I have friends who are from different cultures and stuff. Like when I'm in the homes, the women are not exactly the same as they maybe were growing up or when they were back in their country. A lot of things change.
Okay, so but
not saying completely.
But yeah, but okay, so even on what you're saying, now in America though, in the Asian community, the Hispanic community, the Arabic community, like that's still in here in America. That's still very prevalent to like where the man is like they're more traditional women. So like to some degree it can be, as far as like
I see rights. A lot of changes though. I think when you look at like the older women that come here from different countries, but if we're talking like younger families that are here, you don't really see. I think you see a lot more of like U.S. traditions.
I don't know. What do y'all think, man?
I have friends. I mean, I have friends. Like, I wish I actually.
So, Fred, you want to hop on, man? I kind of want to get your take. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, like what you're saying right now, and I actually kind of am on the same page as what you're talking about.
So, can you drop the number for them to text into?
If you are available to hop on, please text this number. We'll get you a link. You push the link and you're on live with us. So make sure you are ready. You know what I mean? Gonna let me should be changing tires in the middle of
Melody, I agree with you. There is a huge difference between submissive and being a servant, right? And so I think dating back to like our very first live cast, we still have not really defined like what submissive means. Because I think a lot of times we're like using attributes of like a servant.
But I'm not trying to be funny, but I think that's what kind of I think
the only person I'm gonna be a servant to is the Lord.
So for sure. So when God says husbands, wives, submit to your husband. So
I don't think he's saying be a servant. He's saying submit.
So ready to conform to authority or will or will of others, meekly obedient or passive. So that's the word submissive. That's the definition for submissive. Ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly obedient or passive.
So where does that say that?
It's not okay. Now I don't want to say servant, but I think what I'm trying to say though is a lot of things that you would say is a servant, because a servant is different from a slave, right? A servant is someone who serves, right? So you're not a slave. There's a lot of servants back in the day. There's a lot of servants. Servant is can be like a butler, right? That's a servant for you. It's not a slave. I'm not abusing my power. You want to be here because of what I have to give you in return, right? So I think that the word servant is close to the word submissive.
I think though, okay, so I can kind of follow that where like you do have to serve one another. However, I think a lot of times though, what my problem is not that a wife shouldn't serve or submit to her husband. My problem is that most people use things like, oh, you have to cook, you have to clean, you have to be a stay-at-home wife. I didn't say you. Most people though use that to define what submission is.
But you have to understand. You have to understand, if that's their definition of submissive, that doesn't mean that it's wrong. That's just not our definition of submissive. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well,
because the definition for submissive is ready to conform to authority. So to submit, you have to say that I have authority over you, right? Look at her face. If y'all can see her face right now.
So if you come in the house, if a husband comes in the house and says,
it's a yes or no question, babe.
What?
Do you feel like I have authority over you?
Sure. Sure. What does that mean, though?
So if I have authority, then to be submissive is ready to conform or obedient to my authority.
So if a husband comes home, if you come home, let's use us. If you come home and say, hey, I want this house clean, I want this food cooked.
Correct.
Submission that God wants me to do would be, I need to cook and I need to clean.
Correct.
Okay. So again, right now I'm currently going to Bible study every Tuesday with Pastor Joel Fort at the Word Church, and I am getting deep into my word and trying to understand. And right now, God has not told me that I have to come home. If you tell me that I have to cook and clean in this day and age, I don't think that's what God is saying.
But it is. I think the problem though is you don't feel like you've submitted to the right man. We go get it deep right here. Because if you feel like you submitted to the right man, then you shouldn't have a problem serving. Does that make sense?
No, it's not a problem about serving, but the reality of it is right, that we're in a different day and age, right? Where we are, because women now get up and go to work for 40 hours a week, just like the head of the household, right? We are not in the same situations as the women prior to us. So I think with things changing and growing, I think that's why Pastor kind of talks about like context of the Bible and knowing that things are going to change. Because for me, if I get up and go, but so now I'm going to backtrack then, because I agree with you. I'm going to go ahead and agree with him. I am.
Everybody put a fire in the comment. This is the first time this ever happened on TLC podcast. She actually agrees with the kid.
So what I'm going to say though is the reason that I say I'm going to agree with you is because you're right. You have to believe that you're submitted to the right person. And the person that I committed my life with is not going to tell me to come home and cook and clean. So I'm trying to put myself in a situation that doesn't pertain to me. And maybe that's why it just seems like this foreign concept for me, because that just is perplexed. Really?
Thank you. Put a fire. Thank you. First time she said it, you know what I mean? She agrees with us. And that's what I'm saying. If you submit to the right guy,
he's not going to have you doing stuff like that.
Just for the sake of doing it, right? Like there's plenty of times where if Crystal's having a long day at work, I'll wash the dishes, I'll cook some food. I'll make sure the stuff is, at least for the most part.
But there are a lot of men, though, that are out here doing that to women, like that guy. Oh, she's going to do whatever. Like,
what guy?
On the video, the passport video.
I get it, though.
That is wild.
But if she feels like that's her place, some women feel like it's their place.
Sis going to be taking whip shots once she gets stateside, playing around with him. I'm going to just say that. So he can play with it as long as he wants to. She's going to be taking whip shots as soon as she gets stateside.
That was a little weird. I ain't going to hold you up. Why would you even want somebody to go and speak English? That's weird. But I can understand the concept, guys. I can see where they're coming from. We're going to leave it open for a few more minutes while we wrap up this question. Again,
is anybody in the waiting room?
480-509-8958. Text number at the bottom, T time, and we'll bring you into live with us for a few more minutes. I just feel like, again, Lamisha, you said you need to pick a different word other than submissive. It's a little iffy. I just think we have to grow up. I mean,
not him calling me and my friends childish. What?
So women are.
Thank you, Ashla.
I don't know who's calling. So whoever this is calling, I'm sure what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the voicemail because somebody didn't read say
exactly.
text.
There are some women that just maybe struggle and, kind of need that authority over them. I think when we talk about authority, it's about us like making decisions in like our faith and like these major things, I don't think it's, oh, you need to come in this house and go clean your room. I think y'all are misconstruing like what God was saying.
No, I don't. But you have to understand. You're trying to help out God for God said what He said. You're trying to make your own. You're trying to make your own definition for what you heard. You're trying to define it a different way because you don't like the way it sounds to you. The word is submissive. It means to go under, to submit, sub, right? It does. It means to go under because somebody else has authority over you. If somebody has authority over you, that means they have rank over you. They can tell you what to do. The problem is the women are submitting to the wrong man. That's the problem.
So
being submissive is not, it's not a bad thing. It shows humility. It shows that you are mature. It shows that you are.
Okay. So answer me this then. So because I feel like you're kind of saying two things. You're saying that to be submissive, you have to do what your man is telling you. So Correct. If he tells you, hey, get in this house and go clean that room, you're supposed to submit and go clean the room.
Okay. For this,
there are men who are saying that.
So for this conversation, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. So, but then you also say you have to know the type of man to submit to. So to me, like, which one is it? Because you're saying submit to him, but we're also saying he's not the type of man.
So let's go back to what we said though. It says submit to your husband. Your husband. You're going to know who this man is before you go down the aisle. You're going to know who this man is. You're going to know the character of this person, the moral value. You are, though, if you do a good job of actually doing it, not just trying to get married for the sake of
men take advantage of this, like, Bible quote. I really do. And what I'm going to do, though, is, because I don't want to be the oppositional person here. I really don't. And I feel like sometimes it comes off that way. But it's because things have to make sense to me sometimes. And that's something I'm working on, right? So I'm going to get with my pastor. And I want him to really dive into that full front to back in the Bible and like explain to me like what this submission means and what that needs to look like. Because I just do not believe that we're saying there are abusive men that come out and say, hey, you need to go do this or you better do that. And we're telling women they have to follow that.
No, but the problem, okay, so the reason is though, you need to get out. That's not a good marriage.
But you just said it doesn't matter because she should still be doing it.
No, what I'm saying though is, should you do what your husband say? Yes.
Okay.
Should you take abuse, whether it's physical or verbal abuse or whatever, mental abuse?
Well, that's not really abuse. He wants his house clean. If he's telling you to clean his house,
right? But if you feel like it's a problem, right? If you feel like that's a problem, that is abuse. So say it like this, okay? If I was to call you ugly, right? Unless you felt ugly and the words hurted you, it would be considered abuse. If we joked all the time and I called you ugly and it wasn't affecting you emotionally or spiritually or whatever the case might be, it wouldn't be considered abuse. But if I call you ugly every morning and you know those words hurt you, they make you feel a certain way, that it is abusive, right? That's the reality of it. So they're submitting to the wrong husband. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that a man.
So I think we can all agree to just say that there are just some men who take advantage of this. And because the dialogue has stayed the same for so long and men kind of project this, they've been allowed to take advantage because we all have met or know someone dealing with a man who is using that type of power to control them. And so I think we can just leave it there. Because, and if you know someone that's dealing with that, I do work at a mental health facility. I am a pre-licensure therapist, and I know plenty of licensed therapists. Send her over here because we can get her the help that she needs. Because, like, that is just not sitting well with my spirit, honey.
I know, though, but again, I think that's maybe why men are going overseas to get women who are traditional.
That are just going to do.
Who are okay with being submissive.
So I want to, you know what I think would be really cool then, guys? I think what we should do is we should get a woman and a man from a different cultural background, and we should have this conversation with them. That's going to be my goal for next week.
We can pull up clips. I'm not trying to be funny.
I want real people that we can kind of like have real dialogue with.
Okay.
So that's going to be my goal.
Okay. So maybe so.
Yeah. So I think like let's move on to the next question.
Okay. We got somebody coming in.
Oh, okay.
Tea time. Let's say hit the link. I don't know who this is. But looks like they're from Atlanta. They got an Atlanta number. So we go see who it is coming in. I just think that the women nowadays, you guys have a word with submissive. It makes you feel like you're a slave.
I think men have made women feel that way, though.
Since when?
Like when they take advantage. I think those are the men that we're talking about. We're not talking about like these godly brothers like all of y'all on this live cast right now. Okay?
God bless you.
We're not
God
talking
bless
about
you, Sister Krista.
We're talking about the ones that have taken advantage. And I agree with my brother. You know, man submits to God and then they submit. I think you're missing a piece though, bro. Man submits to God, so we both submit to God, and then we submit to one another, and then wife submits to God. Is how the Bible quotes it.
No, it doesn't.
What does it say?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't say submit to God first, then submit to one another, and then wife submits to husband. Delmar?
I think
It says that.
Delmar.
It says that.
I don't know if Delmar would know. Delmar was in
that.
the streets before. It doesn't. Okay, so yeah, just pull it up, baby. We don't.
Oh my gosh, Delmar, Giovanna, I'm not really trusting you on this one. Delmar.
He said, Giovanna, she said, you don't use all your points already, man. But I think it says man submits to God. Man submits to God, and then wife submits to husband.
I don't know.
But if man submits to God, because if you're supposed to love your wife like God loved the church, then you're going to do everything for her. If you submit to God the right way.
It really doesn't say that. I'm almost pretty certain that it says that submit to God, then one another, and then wife to husband.
I don't think it does.
Okay.
Y'all.
I want to try to
Delmar, the man submits to God and the wife submits to the husband. Exactly. I know I'm not too.
Call Pastor Ford.
You quoting all that wrong. Stone said you quoting.
I'm not quoting it wrong. I'm telling you guys that it says that.
Why don't you look it up? She's like scrolling through Facebook right now. Like
no, I'm trying to find Pastor Ford because I'm going to find it.
Okay. First of all, we got revival tonight. He got too much going on. So why they try to figure that out? My mom. Okay, so my mom want to hop on. Yeah, we can get you on. I don't know who else was trying to hop on. Oh, Deborah, I see you in the back room. Auntie Deborah. All right, so what we're going to do, guys, we're going to bring one of my aunties on. She's like my auntie, my real family, but she's like my auntie. My mom and her have been best friends for a very long time. So see if we can hear. Can you hear us, Auntie Deborah?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Auntie Deborah.
Hey, how you doing? I wasn't trying to go live. It's just that I was on YouTube and I can't put no comment in. I'm not.
Oh yeah, so you guys know that YouTube, if you're on YouTube, you have to log into YouTube with an actual, like, it's not like Facebook. It doesn't just let you do comments to prevent people from like bullying and harassment. So you actually have to log in and say you're a real person before you can do comments and stuff on YouTube. But did you have something that you wanted to say while you're here?
I just enjoy you guys.
Oh, we appreciate that.
You keep me on my toes. You keep me laughing.
Oh, thank you.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Y'all doing a wonderful job.
We appreciate that. Thank you for tapping in with us each week. We know that this is somewhat of a commitment for y'all to like take the time out of your lives, and y'all think that we are pretty special enough to support this. So we appreciate it. I love all the comments. We see you comment time to time.
Yeah, so we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Look, on Facebook, when you share, does it actually go on the page or?
Yep. So if you share, if you guys push the share button, it'll go into your page, but it will show us live right now, where they can literally just click and watch it on. So if you guys can, please share. That's all we really ask from you guys. Not just you, Auntie Deborah, but everybody who's watching this stuff. If you can share, please share, and then like and then comment too. We're trying to take over the world. You know. That's the goal.
I don't know if I want that job.
But thank you so much, Auntie
You definitely will. Y'all better get ready.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Well, we're not gonna hold you. We appreciate it. And if you have any other stuff, you can just call it. That must be your 404 number from Atlanta. So I'll lock you in too. That way I have your number. Okay.
Okay. All right, sweetie. Y'all take care.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, you too.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, y'all. So when you see me looking down, for whatever reason, it gets weird when I try to look up there and read the comments. So I'm looking at the comments from my phone as well. And I just want to say, first off, let's just go ahead and pin Jovan's comment. Crystal was right, and he pulled up the scripture. You got to pay better attention in church, baby.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your husband as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as in Christ is the head of the church, and he is the survivor of the body. Therefore, the church is subject unto Christ. Let the wives be their own husband for everything. Husband, love your wives. So, where were you right? Wait, can we zoom in on his face right now? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So wait, it does say that. So you have to like read the context of everything, right?
No.
Wives, submit yourself unto you. Okay, so I'm gonna pull it up for you guys.
It don't, listen, when I say it don't get no better than this.
This is probably what Pastor was talking about, though. Let me pull it up. Hold on.
Wait, if it don't get, hold on, wait. Before she pull up, whenever she go pull up, if it don't get no better than this, when she say, she go onto Facebook, guys, and say, can y'all pin the comment where it says Crystal is right? She reads the paragraph from the passage, and she still realizes she's wrong and trying to figure out how she's still right about this. Like, I think this, Kristen, you messed up. Delmar said you messed up. The context is literal. It's very literal. It's there's no context here. This is very, very.
First off, if my pastor said it, I know he did. So let me just go and find it. Now, it probably, I was trying to read for clarification, right? Because we know sometimes when.
Really quick, one more time. Whip shot's going to take out the screen.
Stone is trying to make me take an L right now.
Whip shot.
I'm not taking that shot. So with the Bible, sometimes you have to sit and try to decipher what is being said, right? So I'm just trying to decipher.
I know, but this is very basic. I'm going to put it back up. Okay, wives, submit yourself unto your husbands. Okay, how can we decipher that part? Let's start there with the first comma. As unto the Lord.
Let me go find it, because
I'm telling you. All right, so we go let Crystal find that before we move on. Again, if you want to hop into the live, let us know. Miles coming on. She said she wanted to hop on for a second. I don't know if she do. If she don't, but we're about to move on to the next question. Okay, nope. She just got into the back room. All right. So you hear us. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Sylvia.
Hey, okay. Period. We see you looking.
How are ya? It's amazing how many men love that scripture. Isn't that funny? That's the main thing they say is submit. Never submit to a fool.
I agree.
If he's a fool, then you don't submit to him. You can't submit to every man that come your way. You can't submit to him because every man is not a leader, number one. Okay? He might be a man, or should we say a grown boy. He is not a man. You are not supposed to submit to those type. If God did not send him, and you're not sure if God sent him, then definitely do not submit to him.
100%.
If these men are going to other countries to get these women, these are men that the Americans don't want anyway.
Exactly.
So please, I need to start helping them with the ticket, okay? Because they can have them, okay?
And
I have a friend. No, I have a friend that I know. I've been knowing him for years because I wasn't interested, okay? Because he sleeps in his truck. He done went over to Africa. Got a girl pregnant in Africa. As much as AIDS is going through this country, he went over there unsafe. 65 years old, got a 2-year-old.
That's out of pocket.
You think we want him? No. And then he didn't marry her. Right. He didn't marry her. He went back online and got another one from another country and married her.
Hey, I got
tell them to go. They all can
close.
That's right. They can all be on the same plane. They can enjoy their life. If they want a submissive woman, let them go over there and get it. Those women are so glad that they get a brand new pair of shoes once every 2 years. See, we way better than that because we buying our own shoes. So we good, okay?
But
they can be whatever they want to be.
This is how I feel about that. And you are 100% right. First of all, you should not submit to a man that's not submitted to God. I think that's the first part that we get wrong.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then submit. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back up. then women submit to your husbands, right?
And guess what? This man is standing here talking about she'll speak English. She probably speak English very well. She's smart enough not to tell him, and she's smart enough to get married, get over there in that other in America, and wait till her time is up. She got to be married 2 years, and then she's gonna start speaking real English when she take him to court for every dime he got.
But don't expose the sisters. We don't want to give up the tricks. We already know what she's doing.
Come on.
Think she don't understand. Look how she looks.
Yeah, I hear everything you saying, and I don't play this game. Because what happens is, and this has happened before.
You know what?
This has happened before, where they bring a man over here, or they bring a woman over here, and they done got this nice looking woman. She cooking and she cleaning, she doing all you want. And what happens is, after they married and they did their time, because they got it counted out, and they go back and they visit their homeland, they got a man over there in Africa. They have their real man that they're gonna marry in Africa. They wait till their time is up, the 2 years is up, they divorce them, and they go back to Africa, get the man that they're gonna marry, and bring him back to America. And this is the whole family comes.
I feel like you know something. Spill the tea.
I know more than 3 people that have done that. They married a guy in Africa, couldn't wait to get the man, because women doing it too. Not just men. It's plenty women that went over there and got a man. Oh, he just love you. He love your curves. He love you. He love that you're an American. I don't care what you look like. You're an American. You get them over here. They get their citizenship. Excuse me. They start a business. They leave you. They go back and get the wife they was planning on marrying.
Okay.
And that's the way it is.
Tea to you today, Mom. We're gonna drink the tea to you.
You know what? You know why they're doing this? Because she got caught red-handed in front of
everybody.
No,
I'm still finding it.
she was wrong. That's why she got him.
I'm still finding.
No, but listen, you're 100% right. I don't think men should submit to women. That women should submit to men who don't submit to God. I feel like if you are really truly submitted to God, then you wouldn't put your whole point of serving is serving your wife.
Absolutely.
Your wife can serve you.
Let me just throw another thing in here too, which is probably going to be a little bit of boomerang. But you know what bothers me is when you have a man that know he's not good at finance. That's not his expertise. But one thing that he's not going to do is give up the finance and let the woman handle it. Now she might buy some shoes, but I bet you money a good woman is going to make sure that you have toilet paper, paper towel, soap, toothpaste. She got all that done. But a man that's not good with finance, what he does is hold it. He don't even know, okay, if they got toilet paper on sale, I don't buy 1, I buy 12. I buy 4. I buy as much as my money would allow because it's on sale. And I stack the closet. That's called a good woman. If a man is not good at his money, give it to the woman. You don't have to lead with every individual part of life.
Again, but I think that has to be, you have to be a good leader. A good leader knows he can do everything. A good leader delegates.
That is exactly right. If Crystal is the cook, and that's the part she's good at, then let her cook. If you good at washing clothes, then you wash clothes, because that brings you together as a unit. Don't allow, because I'm the man, I ain't washing no clothes. That don't even make sense.
That's what I'm saying, though.
You do whatever it takes.
Advantage of that.
I know, but so we're talking based off what we think and not what we know. Okay, I'm being honest. Because I ain't scared of neither one of y'all. Okay, I love y'all. I love both of y'all to death.
Chris is definitely trying to start a riot, and so we're gonna let you get Chris together.
No,
do you see Chris's comment?
He said black women don't appreciate, but that's the truth. Nobody appreciates
he said black women what?
Black women don't appreciate black men as much as a foreign woman does, and that's the truth, though.
Lies. Okay.
Prove
black women. Don't get me started. Let me tell you what. Okay, black women are tired of taking a man that come. Now they coming to her house, right? They bringing one plastic bag because they don't own a suitcase yet. And a black woman will take that man without a suitcase. Hold on. A black woman will take a man without a suitcase with a black plastic bag and build him up and make him somebody.
That's not.
And then he think he's too good for her.
Okay, so
and then he go around, and then he'll go out and he'll cheat and find somebody else because he's too good for her. Now I done showed you how to put on a silk tie.
The people want to hear.
Okay, so one second. The what I'm saying though is this. That's not the reality of most black men. Just like the reality of most black women is not all black women are great women. So we can't make that. We can't deplete that narrative like just because you're a black woman, you're a queen. Unfortunately, that's not the case.
I agree with you.
If you look on social media, you look at half the women where every picture is turned backwards, you're not a queen. I'm being real. If you're in the middle
I
of the
agree with
club
that.
and you bent over, you're not a queen.
I agree.
So we
I agree
can't
with you.
we can't do that to make it seem like all black men are this way, because I only know black men who actually are doing well. I don't know any black men who living out of a bag. I've never seen them personally. Me, I'm not saying that they don't exist, because I know they do, but we can't take the stereotype of this one anomaly and try to make it the actual grand and put all black men under this umbrella. I'm not saying all black men are great.
But Chris said black women don't appreciate a black man. That is not true. Black women rather be with a black man. They rather be with an American black man. They rather be.
The question is, if that is the truth, then, and what you're saying is true, then why do women feel like they have to have a man who's already put together before they decide to move to the next step?
Have you ever seen? You see this? Hold on one second. My alarm is going off at my house.
And I'm gonna just go off of Melody right now and just saying that we are one of the few cultures, races that won't assembly a man. Like, no, I think we need to have better standards, better bottom lines. We're not going to sit here and wait 10 years for you to get it together.
That's not true, though.
I think it is.
If it was, though, if that was 100% true, right?
Tired of building bears.
Okay.
This is
okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
But you know what?
We don't have it together. What realistically, when is the last time you saw, like, I mean, not trying to be funny, even for you, but I love you to death, but how long did it take you to learn how to cook for real? It wasn't, you didn't come out the gate at 19, 20 knowing how to cook.
Oh, yeah, I understand that, but that's not really in regards to what we're talking about. We're talking about careers. We're talking about mental capacity to be open to love. We're not talking about cook.
So listen. So what you're saying is what women want from a man. What I'm saying is what men want from a woman. That's different. What you want is security. Men don't care about security when it comes to a woman. We don't care how much money you make.
Oh, yes, they do.
No, not real men. Real men don't care.
Well, see, that's the problem. Because you said not real men.
Really quick, ladies. Really quick.
So, but can I say this, though, really quick? Let me say this, because I don't want to forget it.
Okay.
You said, though, that I didn't know how to cook, right? But the expectation for a woman is to learn how to cook. You didn't have to teach me. That was something I taught on myself. What we're saying is we have to teach these men, not me, but we have to teach and build these men up. A woman learns to cook on her own. A man is not helping.
So what a man wants from a woman is purity and beauty, right? That's typically what we want from a woman. When a woman we can see that looks beautiful, we go up to them, we approach them. And purity, someone who is not out in the streets doing what she wants, right? That's typically how we decide on our desire from a woman. What a woman wants from a man is different. It's securities, provision, it's those type of things. So yes, even though I didn't require that from you, however, most men don't reach financial freedom to actually provide and to be secure to the age of 57. Most men hit their financial peak at age 57. So to say I'm not ready for a man it's unfair. Because then that's why guys go to and I'm not knocking it, or am I backing it up the statement, but to say that it's wrong for men to go overseas to find a woman.
I don't disagree. I think they're doing the right thing. Because,
I think so.
if their mentality is I need to go overseas, then they're right. They need to go overseas. First of all, they're working with nothing, and we're gonna leave it right there. They're working with nothing, so they probably need to go overseas.
100%. Listen, Ma.
And you saw him, and his personality says it all in that video clip that nobody over here was giving him a shot.
But anybody was saying about this woman kneeling down at her husband and say, I want to be submissive. Why? How many times? No, let's be real, though. How often would you think you would be able to see like someone like this in America?
I can't really see what she's doing. What do you mean?
Okay,
I can't.
Oh, she's on her knees?
I don't know anybody that's stupid to bend down like that.
Correct, but I think that's what makes this different, though, right?
I've done approximately probably somewhere near 300 weddings, and there's not no American woman I know gonna bend down on her knees and say I'm gonna submit to you at a wedding. It's not. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do what we can to keep the wedding, keep the marriage going, but we're not gonna bend down and kneel to bow down to them. No.
So 1 second. Based on what you just said, out of 300 weddings, the rate right now for divorce is 60%. When you actually go overseas, the rate for divorce is down to 20%. Do you feel like the reason why is because of submissiveness in leadership. So even though you did 300 weddings, doesn't mean that there were happy marriages. Doesn't mean that there were successful marriages. So someone like this who can do this in front of her friends and her family, I'm not trying to be funny, gets more kudos than the person who has the biggest wedding. Because what she's showing her husband is saying, listen,
Okay,
I don't care what. One second. Mom.
Okay.
What she's showing her husband is saying that I don't care what no one says. I don't care what no one thinks. I'm here to make sure that I am when Eve was made for Adam, it was a helpmate. It was a helpmate. It was to help him. God didn't do it the other way around. God didn't make Eve first because she's the one who gives life now. He didn't make Eve first and say, I'm going to give Adam to you to make sure that he helps you. And once you submit to God, and I think that most men that I know, I'm not saying every man is like that because I know that's not the case, but the most men that I know, they actually submit to God. So therefore, a woman should have no problem submitting to their husband. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So this is my opinion, okay? And I know everybody don't agree with this, but I believe that if Africa had the money or had the capability of living the way that we do as women, they would not be submitting. They submit because they want to make sure they get fed the next week, so the lights will be on. They submit because they know this is it. I got to get married. He gonna take care of me. Because we are in America, I'm not saying that women should not submit somewhat, because I do agree to that. But because we're in America, Black women especially, because that's all I can talk about, that's what I deal with, don't have to submit like everybody else because of the fact that we're taking care of ourselves.
And you
It's
were
not on purpose.
What I
we trying to, what's the song K. Michelle said? You can't raise a man. He already grown.
And you're speaking to exactly what I said earlier. I think we're trying to use other countries and women who are coming from underprivileged and impoverished areas who their functioning is a little bit different than ours. We have why do you think so many people try to come to America? Because it's a different standard of living. And that's why I was telling you, when I see them come over here, because I work in these homes, these women are not as traditional as you think they are anymore when they come here, because now they have more independency. They aren't so reliant. Now, the older women who are not about to get out there and go get a job, absolutely. But I think that you have to understand that's all they can do. In those countries, they are not allowed to work. Women don't even have rights in most of those countries, right? To this day. So they have to follow through and clean, or else their fingers can be chopped off. Their hands can be gone.
What book are you
reading? Is that not real?
Crystal, I just met, I'm in Atlanta, right? I'm in Atlanta.
And the structural guidelines of their country, yes, they can be killed. Yes, things can happen to them as consequences. I'm not going to go to the extreme and say that they will be killed. I'm saying things can be chopped off. So fingers, different things like that are
they can go to jail, or they can go to jail
or
too.
go to jail or anything.
Because there's a lot of countries that don't do PDA. You can't do no public display of affection, period. But I just met a lady. I'm in Atlanta. I just met a lady 2 days ago, and she married a guy in Africa. Mm-hmm. She's been married 2 years. He's like almost 10 years younger than her. She's married 2 years. Oh, I love him to death. But guess what she said? He wants to come to America. And if he want to come to America, I'm going to divorce him. You know why? Because once he get Americanized, he's saying bye-bye. And she knows it. She knows it.
So this is another passport, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, and this is a passport girl. I think maybe I don't know where you get this
passport girl.
She's a wife. I don't know what I'm even looking at, Stone. So maybe you could give me some context in our personal chat. But so you got to think about it too. You about to get out of here?
Yeah, I'm gonna get out.
Okay, thank you.
Bring somebody else in. Okay, bye-bye.
Love you. Thank you so much, Ma. I appreciate it.
So I do want to kind of, while Stone is playing that, I do want to show you guys that Crystal was right, okay? I think what happened was, Jovan, you should have probably went.
So Matt Fitzgerald, real quick. He said, chop off fingers, for not cleaning. Exactly.
Okay, what I'm saying, though, is the reason these women are like that, right, is because of what type of pressures do they have? What type of systems are they living in, right? So obviously I'm being facetious when I go that extreme. And technically we don't know that I'm being facetious when I say these things, because it could very well be a possibility. So we don't want to diminish what those women in these underprivileged communities are going through.
Just do that.
I know. So I said, like, let me take that out, right? But let's talk about the dynamics, because you guys want to continue to compare women from other countries to American women, right? But you're not understanding the structural concepts of these other countries.
I think the biggest problem is when we look at the men in other countries, they're very traditional, in which most women in America want. They want the guy to go out and work. They want the guy to go out and provide. They want a guy who actually going to make sure that they have the lifestyle that they want. They want a guy who actually is a good leader, who has great financial literacy skills.
You're talking about women in America.
Women in America. That's what women in America want. However, these are the same traits that women who are traditional have.
But not every woman wants a man that can provide.
Okay, I know, but can we say majority of women?
Can we say that when most women work? How are we saying that? When
I just feel like
women,
sometimes we go back and forth, and I feel like we don't get to a realistic situation.
So what I'm saying is, if most women work and most women are splitting bills almost as equally as their husbands, how can we say that is the standard?
So okay, so if you feel like that, then would you take care of a man? If it's not about the money, if you don't care about a man providing, if you don't care about a man's financial literacy skills, if you don't care about him actually being a good leader, would you take care of a man? You would not, babe.
No, I wouldn't.
I know.
We're talking about most women, though.
Do you think most, just based off the comments?
I think, though.
So, quick question. We'll take a poll really quick.
You're going complete opposite on it, I think, though.
So let's take a quick poll on this stuff, guys, right quick. Do you feel like, if you're a woman right now, do you feel like you will be comfortable taking care of a man who you love? If you know he did everything else he wanted, as far as he made you feel secure, intimacy was there, he made you feel special or important. It's just the provision. You feel like he was a great leader, he could take care of tasks, but you feel like provision was a problem. If you feel like provision was a problem and that was the only problem, but you still took care of him, he was a stay-at-home dad, then would you still take care of him? That's the question. Because I think
But men aren't taking care of women.
It really depends.
Men aren't taking care of women. Women go to work.
I know. So what I'm saying though is the lifestyle that most women want, whether it's happening or not. I think that's where we're bumping heads from men and women, the gender race, the gender roles. Because what most women want is they want the baller. You don't hear no songs talking about give me a man to stay at home and cook a meal for me. I want a man that's out there working that I can buy. He's going to buy me a Lambo. He's going to buy me some back, because that's the.
You gotta stop looking at Instagram.
It's not Instagram, baby. I'm just saying realistically. Okay, can we drop them? No, it really depends. Can I get some more? No woman wants to take care of a man. Let's be real. Okay, like I'm just like, let's be honest here. No woman wants to take care of a man.
And I'm not saying that a woman wants to take care of a man.
So if it's not a provision, if it's not about how much money he makes, right, and you don't care, if you truly did not care, then it would be okay to take care of a man. It would be okay.
It's not for me, because I don't want anyone that's not going to go out and work hard. Okay. That is the problem.
I'm saying, though, do you feel like most women care, though?
I think most women, I'm just saying, based on what I've seen and what I've heard, right? Most women just want a man that is going to not be in these streets, a man that is not going to be playing with them, right? Okay. So a faithful man. They want an emotionally mature man, right? They want a hard-working man. No one that I know is saying that they need their husband. In fact, 90% of my circle is saying hard-working.
So what is hard-working? I'm just asking. Does he have to have a job?
How motivated? Yes, you have to be getting up so that we both can provide for our family and take ourselves to the next level.
So she just made my point, guys. Right. So again, provision is the main thing about what women want. And that's what I'm trying to get you to see.
That's not. I think the number one thing is someone who is loyal, someone who is faithful, someone who is emotionally available and connected.
Correct. When I can say that most men, provision is not on the list at all.
That's not true. So then why don't they take care of the households and not let their wives go to work and pay all the bills? You don't see that happening too often.
No. So I think the reason why is because they don't have submissive women. I'm being real.
You're losing me completely. You're like,
so listen, if you want to hop in, anybody, I know Matt, you were talking a lot. If you want to hop in, 480-509-8958. I send you a link. You can hop in and just kind of give your thoughts, Jazzy girl.
And so I do want to share, though, Jovan, my pastor actually sent me over the translation that we were looking for. And so we probably should have just went up a little bit. But it says in the translation of that same thing, but just the passage above, submit yourselves, therefore, to God. And then submit to one another. And then husband or wife to husband.
What did you say about that?
You don't even believe me?
I mean, that's the Bible. That's the Bible. I'm not gonna believe you over the Lord.
Submit yourselves to one another because of your reverence for God, Christ. And then wives, submit yourselves to your husbands. And he said he did talk about it. He actually does a marriage little Bible study that he will give me the information to. Okay. He's getting ready for revival right now, but I'll get those for y'all just so we can kind of for a different type.
So text the number.
But Crystal's right.
So whoever that's calling the number, if you could just text the number T-Time, TEATIME. Somebody from Detroit is calling. I don't know who this is. I'm gonna go ahead and delete it, decline it. But if you could just text T-Time so I can send you the link. That way you guys can hop onto live. And then we'll let one more person get on it then before we bring on to the next question and then go ahead and wrap it up. But I appreciate you guys. Me personally, I think these one of those topics or conversation that me and Crystal probably are never going to agree with, and I think it's okay. I think it's okay to have healthy dialogue with someone that you love and you care about, and you have disagreements. And I think that's the reason why we kind of created this platform to show that it's okay to be with someone and not agree about everything. I don't want to be like some fake Instagram model, couple.
That's not real life. Like people, we're all different. Like our chemical makeups are different. We're not going to agree about everything. As long as you can have healthy conversations where you agree to disagree, where it's not throwing y'all off. Like that's realness for me.
And so it's going to come to the point I have to provide temporary like my husband would be awesome. Okay, exactly. That's all I'm saying. I just want people. To like be realistic. How many women do you know are okay with permanently providing for men? I think it's very slim to none, right? I think that's the reality of it. I think, but when you look at the shoe on the other foot, when you're looking at how many men will be okay with permanently providing for a woman, the numbers, it don't lie, and that's all I was kind of say. We got somebody in the back room. Ashika, I think is that
Ashla.
Ash.
I miss Ramon name.
Okay, I was so good. I'm like, I don't know this one.
Hey girl, how are you?
Hey Krista. I was just calling to say I was reading the comments, and I think the main reason that women from other countries are raised to take care of a man is because back in the 70s and 80s, when the black man was shipped off to jail or dead or whatever, or crack-headed or drugs, I'm sorry, that it was now just black women, and we had to be strong together and raise our daughters to be strong and independent on their own.
Okay, and I agree with that, absolutely. Right? And I'm not saying that things in the past haven't shaped the way we perceive the future or the present now. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I think that had a really, really big impact on how we see ourselves and our roles as far as gender roles within the black community. My question is, us knowing that now, out of slavery, not saying out of, we still live in a society it's a racist society, right? We're not going to act like it's not there. But out of the hard constructs of this society, knowing that, why is that still the narrative? You get what I'm saying? So even though you know that, why is that still, why are we saying, okay, why not, now that we know that, why not try to change the narrative to say, okay, this is, because I feel like at some point we have to be like, okay, we know we had to be strong and independent, but now the men that are available, we don't want them because they can't provide enough for us or whatever the case might be. So we don't We don't have to. You don't think that's the case?
I say when you look at, like, from me hearing other women talk about the dynamics of the men that are available to them, right? They don't sound like these are men who just don't have enough money, or that it sounds like the men are not reliable. They don't know how to make these women feel secure, and it's not financially. I think it's coming from a standpoint of these men are just kind of out here wilding out, almost in a sense, not having any type of loyalty, kind of just, you don't think so? Like when
I
you
think it's really hard when we got a song with the City Girls. I think I'm just being real. We act like we're talking about like Maya Angelou's. Why would I do that for a woman who's
okay, so
available
you think
to
the
everybody?
only reason the dynamics of our culture with men has changed is because of the woman?
I think the woman holds the power. I truly do.
Okay.
I feel like you guys have the cookie, and you decide who gets the cookie and who does not get the cookie. And if you require more from a person to say, okay, I need this before you get the cookie, then I think it would bring the level up of all men around. I'm not saying that I'm that guy, because I'm not. However, I think if you guys were, but if you want the drug dealers, if you want the guys who's in and out, there's more. You got to think about it. Women right now who actually are a baby mother, right? Typically, there's more women with babies than there are men, right? And typically they have multiple kids with the same father that they knew wasn't nothing the first time the baby was born. So you have a choice. And I think you're not utilizing that choice to say, okay, I want better. You're just saying, okay, well, he's a know nothing type of dude. No, the dudes you pick are know nothing. Like, you picked him 3 times.
There's a pattern for sure.
There's a pattern. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that we don't have to do better as men to be and take accountability for what we do, because I think we don't respect women enough.
But
that's true too.
But so then you guys kind of lose me, because when we go back to this concept of like men have to be leaders, for me, a leader is not changing his direction of path because of a woman who's going to lead. So to be like, oh, the only reason that these men are doing this is because of the women, that shows that they aren't leaders, right? So again, why women are now in this like entanglement or like web of trying to find a guy, because we don't have any leaders. There are select few of men that are actually leaders. And every woman that I know in my immediate circle has said over and over to me, like, wow, Lawrence is a really good guy. You were really blessed with that. There are no men out here. I don't think that they're not trying to find men who can be leaders, who can be good men. I don't think we have them. I'm sorry.
I feel like if me and my husband don't work out, I am not trying to get back out here, because it's like, I'm not going to find him nowhere else.
100%. And I think the fact that you know that is the difference too, right? But I think as a good leader, you have to know when. I'm just being honest, right? So if you're a manager for a job, right, and you're the leader for the company, I think the people underneath you, the people who are following you, you have to know to let them know when to let them go. Like, you have to know that. So even though you feel like that I might not be a good leader, it's probably because you're not a good follower.
That's because that person must be a leader too.
That's not necessarily true, because we all had coworkers who were just horrible coworkers, and you're like, I can never see this person as a manager. They're always late. They're always complaining. They do the bare minimum to get by, just enough not to get fired, but not enough to get a raise. You know what I mean? Like, for real. That doesn't mean that you're a leader. They might hate the manager, because the manager is requiring more from you. So I think that we have to. I'm not saying that it's man or woman's problem. I don't think it's a man. I think it's society. I think definitely in our culture, it's a society problem. However, I think that if to say that we don't have enough leaders, I think it started off with the question here that we talked about passport bros is not enough women are willing to follow. I think the word submissive, it really.
I think that when you look at like the man that's on the screen, I'm not following him.
Okay.
Okay. So I didn't see this. I feel like we just keep going back to the first.
So, okay, this dude is weird. Okay, I don't know who this dude is. Right? But I'm being honest. The word submissive nowadays for most women means slavery. It does. That's how it makes them feel. It does, and we can't lie. It makes them feel awkward and weird, and it.
I don't feel like it's the submissive word. I feel like it's the what do you want me to submit to?
The definition that men are sometimes abusing under the word submissive, because it's not the word submissive. We can say submit all day long, but the things that men are trying to make women feel like they have to do in order to fall under God's standard, because that's the first thing they do. They go back to like biblical terms, right? With it. I think that it is wrong. I do not feel like the word submit is meaning some of the stuff that we've seen in these relationships. But to go back to what you said, I think when you have the right person, they're not going to be asking you to do some of this stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel like if he says come home, hey, my house is not clean, get up and do that. You used to do that anyways. But if you're talking and friends are over and he just goes, shut up, like, whoa, I'm not into that.
Correct.
But I think even the whole like get home right now, like my house isn't clean. I think that's a bit much. I think we got to have a level of respect for one another. And to me, a man talking to his wife like that is a respectful man. And that's not a man you need to be submitting to, because my husband's not going to talk to me like that.
So I think that there is a problem with the word submission. And the problem is the definition of submission. Like, I think we keep trying to because we wouldn't say that with any other word. Like, it's not love. It's like what love really means. It's not like the son. It's like what the son really. It's not that. Submitting is submitting. There's no way around it. The reason why you guys don't like it is because it makes you do things in which you don't have control over.
Or can it be that there has been like this cycle of men abusing that word for women, and so now it has a negative connotation?
Yep, that's what it is.
Frame it real quick. Just reframe that for a second. Okay. I'm gonna use a therapy word. Just sit on that, okay? Just sit on it, because I think
we
that
women
is
see
what
it as a man trying to control. Exactly, they feel like they're trying to control. So it's just weird to me, because if you really love someone and submitting is just serving, that's all it is. Submitting is just serving. I'm gonna serve you. I'm gonna do exactly what I need to do to make sure that you're 100% happy within my ability to do so.
Yeah,
right?
but that's why I said I think it's perfectly fine to say, you know what, honey, like I really want you to cook for me tonight, or can you really do this? But what we're talking about is when people are having this expectation, like, oh, my house hasn't been clean. I don't care if you've been at work for 10 hours out the day. You better come home and clean my house. To me, that is not submission for me to come to that house, because you're a disrespectful person anyway. Right? And to kind of go, because I know we got to start speeding it up, to the second video, because I feel like we haven't addressed that, right? This is like ignorance on my part. The only time that I've seen a woman propose to a man is in the event that woman has said, he's taking too long. I really want to be married, so I'm going to go ahead and have him do that. I'm just speaking on the times that I've seen it. So I don't know that there are women. I haven't seen women who are just like, out the bat, like, I want to propose to him. Usually the dialogue is, he's waiting too long. He hasn't done it, so I'm going to go ahead and ask him because I really want this. So I think at that point, it's a little inappropriate, because if this man, you're kind of like trying to like force him into that marriage. If he doesn't want to marry you, then you just need to find something else.
So what I think is, first of all,
thank you, Ashla.
Very welcome.
I know you like you waiting. Did you want to say anything before you get off about it?
I mean, y'all are awesome. I love watching y'all. Y'all be cracking me up. I'm always on Crystal's team. So.
Of course, that's usually how it works. You know what I mean?
But y'all keep doing great.
Thank you. We appreciate you tuning in every week.
Absolutely.
So we'll get one more person, guys, and then we're gonna probably wrap it up. One more person to kind of log in. If you got anything to say, please text Tea Time to 480-509-8958. Text Tea Time. I think this is one of those good topics where we really don't need to go to too many other questions.
Yeah, and if you look at Chris, he said men just want to leave, but women, especially Black women, have lost trust with Black men. Sasha said, I agree. I've lost trust, and that's why I've been single for 5 years. I never tried to be head of the household, and I've supported and helped build a man up, but I've been let down in the end. And that's what I'm saying. It's just a cycle, right? Like, so a lot of women start to, and not Sasha, but a lot of women start to morph into these different characteristics. And I agree. I saw somebody say that it's the rap, right? Or like what we see on TV and different things. But I think a lot of women have just gotten to the point like where they're just kind of tired. So it's like, let me just go ahead and fall suit with, what I see going on around me. And I think y'all have pointed out several times that women are not meant to be leaders, men are. So the men should be leading, not the women. That is not their job. If we want to take it back to like y'all dialogue about leaders versus followers.
What Faith got to say? I know Faith always. Faith hates me. I love her to death, but somehow she just hates me. Actually, I mean, really has been a man who qualifies being a leader. Has to be a man. We as women have to vet. Exactly. Faith. Thank you, Faith.
You do have to vet, right? But Faith, I'm going to ask you this.
That's the only time men
out of your experience and out of the women that you know, will you say, even in the vetting process, it takes a while for a woman to actually find a man that meets those standards for them?
Okay, then that's the reality.
I know, but that's what I'm telling you. So sometimes, like we're just saying though, the pool, you got limited options. It's not like you got a sea full of good fish.
Right.
Like,
so the reality of it is, if that's what you want to do, then the reality of it is you have to be okay with maybe being single for the rest of your life. That's really what it is, right? You have standards. If you have standards, you have to hold that. If those are your morals,
and so values, you can be single for 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 years.
Not 20 years. You have to be okay with being single for the rest of your life. I'm being real. To my women and my family who I love dearly, I wouldn't want some random dude just coming and being like, okay, yeah, just do it because I said so, but you suck at everything. Horrible, disrespectful, don't love you, abusing you, all this other stuff. I wouldn't want that. But I think reality is, in the way this world works now, that you have to be okay with saying, listen, I might not find a person.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of women too are at, right? Just so, Faith, I have a question for you. You said this time you knew what you were looking for. How long did it take for you to actually find Jeff? Like, was it a waiting period for you? Was it more than a year? Was it pretty quick? And so I think we have Melody and Jovan too.
Yeah, we see y'all in the back room. First of all, let's bring in Melody and Jovan, my guys.
Hey, how's it going?
They don't look beautiful together. Y'all look so beautiful.
Y'all look really good.
Thank
you. Thank you. Even with gray hairs in the beard,
It's all good. Hey, you can be like me, okay? So what you got? So what's your guys' think? You guys' thoughts on this topic? I know we've been seeing a lot of you guys in the comment too as well. What's your thoughts on the topic? And then tell us how you feel, and then kind of take it from there.
Woo! All right, so. I agree on both sides. A lot of the comments. You said something earlier that if a man isn't submitting to God, then he isn't worthy of being submitted to by the wife. Correct. Or a woman, which I agree is absolutely true. Mel and I have a traditional and non-traditional marriage at the same time. Mm-hmm. Where we don't necessarily have gender roles, but because Mel enjoys cooking, she does most of the cooking here. I would say 98% of it. I can cook, not as good as her, nowhere near as good as her, but I can. For sure. And like, so I'll be a little transparent with everybody because I'm in a different space now than I was when we first got married. When we first got married, I was making $10 an hour. Sure. And for most of our marriage, my wife was the breadwinner. You hear what I'm saying? But as a man, I was secure enough not to be jealous or upset about the fact that she was making more than me. Sure. It took me a while to get into my career. I didn't get into my career of choice until I was 31. I got you. So it took a while to build there. And to add to that, I will say Black women will take a Build-A-Bear man. I've seen it much more often than we're giving credit for.
Absolutely. For sure.
If we're being true, it's not all, but there are a lot of Black women who will take men and help them get to a place. But that man has to be a man that shows potential. Okay, he can't just be no bum off the streets. For sure. He's got to be someone that has. I'm about to be 38 this year, and I'm still trying to be a rapper. You
For
get what I'm saying?
sure. For sure.
You get what I'm saying? So
Hey, listen, I done hung up my hat on. I'm like, you know what?
you know what? I wasn't even thinking about that, and that wasn't a shot at you at all.
No, I got you, but I get what you're saying though.
But
As a
at
man,
38, there are some things I've got to put away. We got a family now. You know, we got 3 kids, and it feels like 3,000. So things have to be different. Now I'm working in information security, and things are really, really starting to look up. All glory be to God.
For sure.
It's so much that I really want to touch on. We need to touch on the fact that, one, Black women are the only race of women who are called independent women.
For sure.
But that starts with the fact that the government has tried to destroy Black homes for the
systematic oppression.
Systematic oppression is real.
For sure.
And it's one of the reasons why we as Black men and Black women have our interfighting is because they've continuously tried to divide us. You had crack in the 70s and 80s. You got jail for nonviolent offenses.
Yep.
They've tried to destroy the Black family because they know the Black family like this can't be beat.
They're the most powerful thing in the world.
There's a reason why in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they had that riot.
For sure.
We had Black banks, Black hospitals, Black everything, and they destroyed
Black Wall Street. That's what they call it. Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street got destroyed. All right. In Detroit, they destroyed a lot of the Black neighborhoods. I-375 went through a prominent Black neighborhood, and they put a freeway through there. Guess what they're trying to do now? Because gentrification is happening, they want to pull that freeway out and build it so that the white people can come and take over the city down there.
Sure.
And that's not to start any issues with anybody on here who may be of the other persuasion. We're just speaking the truth. Central Park was not a park.
It was not
Central Park was a thriving Black neighborhood in the city of New York.
Correct. That's the time they can get parcels. That's the only place they can get parcels at the time.
Exactly. So we have to talk about the fact that systematically, this is where they want us. They want us at our ends. They don't want to see a beautiful Black couple like Lawrence and Crystal get together and be strong and take over the world. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
And I'm gonna relinquish the floor to my wife because I'll keep talking all night if y'all let me.
I was about to say, Mel.
I like that vibe,
Listen,
though. Wow, you
listen,
know when the
I was about to say, Mel, listen, if he holding you hostage, blink twice. Let us know. What you think,
I'm glad he touched on it in that way. This whole conversation around what submission is, it is not servitude, but trust that you have to be of service in a marriage. And if your marriage doesn't align with biblical principles, my husband and I talk about this all the time. Our marriage is based on Bible principles, not traditional marriage that you go to City Hall and just get a license. True enough, in order to honor our biblical marriage, we had to go get a license to do it the right way. But the way our construct is not the same as somebody who just looks at it as a piece of paper. We don't view it that way. So trust and believe there has to be some submission. And if you do it the way in which the Bible intended, which is husbands submit to God, and if he gives me something to submit to, I have no problem being submissive. There's no issue with being submissive. It's a level of humility that even Christ showed. So if we are to mimic that and be the same hands and feet of Jesus in the world, this marriage should look like Christ on some level. It should look like Christ's marriage to the church. And if I'm not giving that, if we're not giving that, then we're not doing our part. The other portion is when we think about what we see in the communities, right? That when you have a comment like Black women don't really stand for the Black man, tell me who you can come back to after you've been out there with Susie, Chrissy, and everybody else, and she still take you back and say, I'll work with you. I'll still love you. How many Black women do we see do that?
Man, and can we even talk about outside of like the relationship and a husband and a wife or a boyfriend and a girlfriend? Can we even talk about like a mother and her son that continues to go out there and repeat offenses, and that family is always bringing them back? Like I've watched that in my family for years, right? Like the women in my family, they are going to support the men up and down. Now they're probably going to have conversations, but it's never a time that a man in my family cannot come back to his original household. You don't see that because I work with other cultures. You messed up, you're gone. You're on your own. We don't do that. So I think, like, you know, we got to consider stuff like that.
And I think, and to give you guys credit to as far as Black women, I think you're probably one of the only races it's kind of uncomfortable dating outside the race that I've seen. You know what I mean? I think
it's
it's
hard not to.
Yeah, I think it's hard. Yeah, no, for real though. I think it's hard for like Black women, at least strong Black. I don't know. You know, I'm not trying to offend anybody who's on here, but typically, what I see from most Black women, they're saying, "No, I want a Black man." You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with a white man, Latino man, Asian man, Hispanic man, whatever the situation is. But most women, most Black women, want a white man, and then it's not always the same way from a Black man always wanting a Black woman. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely. It's funny that you say that. I was telling my wife that I didn't find white women attractive when I was younger. Like when I was a kid and they would say, "Oh, this white woman is beautiful." I was like,
she looks weird.
And then as I got older, I was like, okay, you know, you got the Scarlett Johanssons and you know, you got the anomalies, but I love me a Black woman. That's why I married one.
For sure.
And I do want to add too. We talked about the music earlier. You mentioned City Girls, and I'll be the first to admit, listening to Cardi B is a guilty pleasure. I love Meg Thee Stallion, but at the end of the day, Meg Thee Stallion has a song where she's talking about no man living with her, blah blah blah, and a bunch of other stuff, and how she pimped these men. She got a boyfriend who she's very in love with, and the music industry. They perpetuate things that will keep us down. That's why all the music with killing is number one in the billboards and all that other stuff is because we talking about killing each other, and that's fine. And the women are talking about they don't need us, and that's fine. And I do think that plays a part because when Meg Thee Stallion come on, the women be
going crazy
and all that.
Like Sierra.
That's how they sound.
I'm like,
and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having fun, because like I said, Cardi B is a guilty pleasure of mine. I know a lot of verses of Cardi B. But at the end of the day, we've got to be very careful about how we perceive things. What we see. This eye gate can get us in some trouble.
And the ear gate.
And when you think, and I'm not trying to go that deep because that's not why we're here, but when you think about like who's at the top of these record labels and who's controlling the media, right? There are only certain things, like Delmar said, that they're in contract to talk about. And so it's up to us to like just kind of get into our own education about things. And that's why I'm really big on, I don't like to judge people, you know, and I feel like sometimes I come off as the oppositional one, but I really do try to be like a neutral person, unless it's like really defined like my moral and like faith life, right? Like I kind of go a little bit harder about that, but I do try to have a capacity to be a little bit more open because like you just said, everything is not what comes to the eye. Like some of this stuff is just surface and we don't know. And like I said, with the Sierra and Russell thing, we don't really know what is going on behind any of that. We're just all assuming. Now we can assume that it's wrong, right? But we do not know. And that's the only thing I be trying to say. Like we can't say we're speaking facts because we don't know.
No. The insides of somebody else's marriage.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Exactly. None of this is facts. I think it's okay to have healthy dialogue. We might have lost them, but I think it's okay to have healthy dialogue. Okay,
there you go.
Throw away a notification.
No, it's all good. It's all good. And I think it's okay to have healthy dialogue about how we feel about certain topics. I think a lot of times it seems like arguments or combativeness when it's okay to disagree. It's okay to be like
healthy.
And people are passionate about what they believe and what they feel. It doesn't mean argument. And I want to say kudos to you all as a young couple for taking this platform on.
Absolutely.
I love it, and that's why we try our best to be here with everything.
Hey, you guys are faithful, man, and we see that. We appreciate that.
But I love y'all. I love seeing this. I love the growth that comes from it. I joke around a lot, but I learn a lot from the comments from the viewers and from what you guys are doing. Please keep up the good work. We'll definitely continue to support.
It creates the dialogue.
Thank y'all.
Exactly.
It creates the dialogue in our household. We'll be like, oh, ready. Like, well, what about this? What about that? But you need this. You need this so that people can see what it looks like when it's right. I think society has curated images for us that shows us what they want it to look like and what we should do. When you see that on the screen, when I see you and Lawrence, this is what it should look like for other young Black couples or other people who aspire to have healthy and successful marriages. And what works in one marriage does not work in another. You got to know what works for your marriage. When Lawrence's mom, my godmother, was saying, like, if she's better with the finances, let her be the one to distribute how the finances are going to be handled. If you are not there yet, be humble enough, be submissive enough to your marriage. Don't think about I'm just being submissive to my wife, but be submissive to the marriage and say, hey, don't let me blow this whole check. Here, you take it, figure out what needs to be done. And as I get there, then maybe I can assume that responsibility again. But you can't be so I'm the head and you leading us down a path of destruction. Like my mother used to say, your head is the head that you choose. It could be a crackhead, it could be a crackhead. It's that head. So what kind of head do you choose as a woman? And unfortunately, I said it before, in the Black community, Black women, we will take assembly required. When I met Jovan, we were teenagers, right? I understood and recognized, because of the upbringing that I had, that whatever he had was the result of what his mother had. Whatever he didn't have was the result of what his mother didn't have. So we duck and tell our kids, like, I don't say this to pat myself on the back. I taught my husband how to drive. For sure. Literally taught my husband how to drive. I reap the benefits now. I don't drive anywhere unless I want to. Sure. But I was willing to say, he's a teenager. He shouldn't have it together yet. Everything we have, and when I say everything, every single thing we have it by the grace of God. He let us build it together with that $10 that he started out with. And he would say, this is not a lot. I want your $10. Help me. When we talk about help me meet these bills, help me raise these kids, help me make this house a home. It can't just be, these traditional roles. Then again, do what works for you. But if it doesn't work for you, build that thing that works for your unit. It's not going to be one size fits all.
Absolutely. I agree. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all are very on this intellectual level.
No,
I'm so happy. I feel like I agree.
And the fact that you guys, the fact that you brought up that it does create healthy dialogue within your household was one of our goals for us to say, we hope this is not just entertainment. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you get some of the stuff, you're looking at the tabloids. That's not what I want this platform to be. I want it to be healthy conversations about stuff that happens every day. And we don't get to see it. We see the picture perfect couple. It's always smiling and everything is just great. We're like, it's not reality.
You see what they've curated for you in their Facebook and Instagram feed. You see the vacations. You see the happy spouse. It doesn't work like that. There are days where we don't agree, but over time, we've learned that we don't let those things stay. Correct. When we first got married, what my husband will share with you at some point, there are times where early on, I just wouldn't talk. My thing was, oh God, I don't want to say anything that once it's out there, I can't take it back. So I knew I could get to a point where I was so angry that whatever was going to come out was not going to be Christ-like. So I wouldn't say anything. In trying to do the right thing, I would end up doing the wrong thing by not communicating with him and just say, I'm not going to talk to you. That wasn't right. Right? So as we've gotten older, as we approach 15 years of marriage, now I know better. Like, I can't not talk to him. That doesn't make sense. Who is that benefiting, right? It doesn't benefit anyone. But when you learn that, you do better.
Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Listen, appreciate you guys. I'm not gonna hold you. We got the little one in the back. He wants to get some camera time.
Say hi, guys.
Hi. Oh, he's hi.
Yeah.
Oh, you so cool.
Now that's the young Black man that's gonna make a woman happy.
Oh, perfect timing. But listen, appreciate you guys. Last week.
Appreciate y'all.
They tagging Lassiter goals.
For sure. Y'all goals. All right, we go bring in one more person, guys, and then we're gonna go ahead and try to wrap this up.
Absolutely.
What's up, D?
What up, though, cousin host? What's up?
I don't know how I'm feeling about this breed.
Yeah, like who was that? Ashley that was on there. She said she on your side, Crystal.
Ashla.
Yeah, well, I'm on Lawrence's side this time. I'm on Lawrence.
Yeah, I ain't know where he's going either, but hey, since you're here, go ahead. Pick up your feet.
No, man, I love y'all, man. This is really dope, man. This is really major what y'all doing too, man. You know what I'm saying? There's just a lot of negatives. It's a lot of negative stuff going on that people pay attention to, man, and to actually be able to have these conversations, man. And it's not an argument. It's actually people being able to get their opinions and talk it out. You know what I'm saying? This is major, man. I love y'all.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And I feel like,
Oh, for sure.
a lot of these conversations we've kind of had with you in the past, I feel like you're very insightful, especially on the spiritual level, right? With like kind of pulling out some facts and talking about like how to walk in your faith and different things like that. And so it's all appreciated. I feel like it kind of keeps the dialogue. And, our goal is to hopefully reach as many people through this. We might, bring extra people to Christ, which is always good. And then, open these conversations in people's homes.
For sure.
Well,
so I ain't gonna be here alone, man. I gotta get out and give you a little run in tonight, but because I just want to talk about the submission thing, man. Like I think we do take that out of context, when it comes to submission, it doesn't mean like we're your boss. You know what I'm saying? When we're talking about submission, as a man, first of all, who is led by God, he is a leader. He's not your boss. He's a leader, and in order to be a great leader, you also have to know how to follow, right? So as a husband, one thing I can say as a husband of 16 years, you know what I'm saying? Submitting to one another is also required. I'm not going to say it's not. It's also required, but at the end of the day, it's the authority that God has given us, the chain of command. It is God, husband, and man. Man should have the final say because we're protectors. We see things. Women, when y'all were created to help. So as men, we have a hard time when our wives try to give us their ideas or try to give us instructions. All they're doing is walking in the purpose that God intended for them to walk in. When they help us, that's their job to help. 100%. And that's why us as men, we have these ego issues sometimes. I'm the boss. I'm the head of the house. Really, she actually is the help though. So when she coming up with these big ideas and stuff like that, most of the time in relationships, women know how to control the bread. They know how to control that money. You know what I'm saying? And as men, we know how to go out and bring it in.
Right.
We know how to go out and bring it in, but women know how to control it.
Right. Hunters and gatherers. It's really simple.
Yeah.
We're the hunters, they're the gatherers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bring the stuff together, figure out how to rational this stuff, how to ration.
Yeah.
Okay, how to ration stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I like that.
Yeah. So with submission, man, because like it really goes both ways, man. Like I used to have a problem with it back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And I think that just come from when we're the way was taught up in our communities. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be strong. We gotta make sure we got ourselves together. You know what I'm saying? And then when somebody try to tell you your error or try to help you in ways that you thought you had it together, that's when you become, you know what I'm saying, insecure about certain things. Mm-hmm. So I used to have a problem with it, and I can admit that. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I thought I knew how to control my finances back in the day. I thought I knew it all. Then when I met my wife, and then I started learning about credit scores and all that, it was like, dang. You know what I'm saying? Dang, nobody really taught me this.
Yeah, I didn't know enough. I thought I knew it all, but I didn't know enough. Yeah.
But it used to offend me because I became insecure because I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's when I became insecure about it. So now, you know what I'm saying? When she give me advice, sometimes I'll be like, all right, now I got this on lock. But to be honest, she's still better at it.
100%. And I think we just got to know our roles in the marriage, right? And so I think, again, I agree that, the man is the leader, right? But again, I think the whole point of like myself that I was trying to make earlier and that most of the women in the chat was just that we've had a cycle of seeing some men come in and abuse that. Like I said, I think all of y'all men who are tuning into TLC, y'all are just God's gift to earth, right? However, everyone is not like that. Like, You know what I mean? And so I think we just got to be a little bit more, give people a little bit more grace and understand like where they function from. And that's always what I try to do, try to understand why people are functioning the way that they are functioning. So
100%.
I think if you do that, like.
Crystal, didn't you go to school for like, what did you go to school for, psychology or something?
Yeah.
see, so no, because the reason I'm saying that, because I actually work with somebody who went to school for psychology. So that right there is a great perspective and mindset to have when you are dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And knowing why somebody is doing something before assuming they're doing it because of this, that actually helps you deal with them better.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
If someone didn't grow up with parents and you seeing them acting crazy and acting wild, don't just assume that they're crazy and wild. You know, have them conversations with them, talk with them. You know what I'm saying? Try to get to know them on a different level. You know what I'm saying?
The reason why they act a certain way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's another podcast, though. Maybe we should do a therapy podcast. Bring him on.
Yeah.
Definitely don't know it. No, for real.
I think we can use this platform to give inspiration about, you know, and give our takes on that type of stuff. I really, you know. But
not
listen,
with you. I'm doing it with my sisters.
Okay, maybe so.
Therapy.
Listen, D, we appreciate it, cuz. Thank you so much for hopping in, man. You're here every week too, man. We appreciate your love. Everybody who's here every week, guys. We appreciate it. Share, like, comment, everything. Just please blow it up. Please blow it up. And then should we talk about what we got this week as far as this?
Well, we can. I mean, well, you already said it. So we'll show. I don't know if you guys saw. So obviously, I'm a water bottle person, right? And then I'm kind of like that person that has stickers. We got TLC stickers.
So we got some merch too. We got some other stuff coming, but I want to make sure we give some of these out. So some of you guys in the mail, we might be asking for
your addresses, so we can send y'all some merch.
Yeah, send y'all some merch, man. We appreciate you guys being loyal to us on a Sunday night, you know, right before the week starts. So hopefully this blesses your family like it does for us.
Yeah.
It creates that dialogue, that healthy dialogue to encourage loving each other, understanding each other, you know, that type of thing, promoting that type of relationship that you want from a partner. But yeah, appreciate
and
you.
I do want to just tell y'all, right? I don't know why I have
this
to say.
Appreciate you. Okay.
I do want to tell y'all, I hope that we don't ever offend anyone with like our dialogue or our tones with things. Lawrence and I are just very passionate people.
Very passionate.
We are very similar, which is how we have kind of maintained this entire 13 years that we're going on. And so we don't want to ever offend you guys. Like when we get off of here, we're not going to 2 separate rooms. Like I love that about my relationship, that I can challenge him and he can challenge me. And, you know, we are able to just walk away from it and agree to disagree. So I encourage all of y'all, you know, like to try to have those type of conversations with people and surround yourself with people that allow you to just be authentic in who you are and not judgmental. And 100%. I hope that for all of y'all, like we 100%. Love y'all. We appreciate y'all. I am not trying to go solo.
A little bit. What's going on? Oh, you said you're trying to go. Chris been trying to go solo lately, so you might just see a big capital C. It might be TLC. It might just be a big capital C. But here's some merch too, so you got a good idea. It's kind of weird too because let me see. I have to hold it back a little bit just because it's blurry in the camera.
Yeah, but they're really cute.
So they're holographic, T spilling over, if that makes sense. Have the QR code to go straight to our live, and of course our logo is here. But I get some more stuff.
Water bottle stickers. And I want to say a huge shout out to our producer, Stone Chella. Even though you guys do not see him, he's like the man behind the mask, Batman, right? He really comes through and helps us with this. Like, you know, it's just a really huge creative part of this. Him and Lawrence like work all day long, y'all. Like they're up putting in the work. I just kind of show up. But
again, as a woman, but I ain't gonna talk about that. No, we ain't gonna talk about that.
But we love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Seriously, from the bottom of our heart. I think this makes episode 10, which means y'all have been with 10 weeks with us.
We're giving away some merch. So if we text you guys about an address, just understand we're just sending you a few things, a love token to say we appreciate the help, appreciate the support.
Yep, absolutely, Shalom. We see your shout out. Thank you, Melody, for recognizing all of his hard work. So we're gonna try to exit on out of here. We tried to keep it a minute or an hour and a half today. We were not able to, but y'all are great. So we'll be hitting y'all up for that merch. Y'all have a good rest of the week, and we'll see y'all next week.
And then TLC, T with Lawrence and
Crystal.
All right, peace out.
Bye, peace y'all.